Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. So as you all know, this is the last week for season 10, otherwise known as the season Heritage. Traditionally, what I do during the last week is that I keep my rating around 3,000 to reverse gatekeep or help people who are at expert trying to get that legend rank for this season. Fortunately for me, my Love Cup team was able to bring my rating to around a 3,200, and I figured, why not try to shoot for the leaderboard this season? Today is the team that I'm going to feature that brought my rating about another 140 points. I'm currently standing at a 3,379, and I just made page 6 of the leaderboard. And yeah, without further ado, let's see the team that brought us there. So we're running an ABB style team where we have Politoed in the front, and then we have two grass types in the back. Now the reason why I chose this team over here is because it has a lot of really good neutral play against a lot of the farmer with their charge moves. Politoed has Earthquake, Blizzard, as well as Weather Ball to break shields. Meganium has Earthquake for the fire types while still having really high damage moves with Frenzy Plant. Finally, to cover Politoed's weaknesses, I actually use Jumpluff because it's really good against those grass types. So my first day within the Johto Cup, I saw a lot of poison types and a lot of grass types. This is likely due to the return of Azumarill inside the format. Azumarill is just one of those really good Pokemon where it has a lot of neutral play against everything because it's a water type that has ice moves. So I'm guessing a lot of people are bringing out their poison types and grass types to counter that specific Pokemon. I am actually guilty of that as well. I have two grass Pokemon out just because I was really concerned about going against an Azumarill. I also want to mention that since these are leaderboard battles, the queue time for them is going to be a little higher. I want to say on average I waited about 2 minutes per battle, sometimes as long as 3 to 5 minutes. For the most part, most battles took about 1 to 2 minutes to queue up for though. Looks like we finally found a match. So let's get these battles started. So in game 1 we go against a shiny Jumpluff, which is just terrible for me. Jumpluff has good play against all my Pokemon, so I just bring in my most neutral matchup and bring out my Jumpluff to counter their Jumpluff. The only way to really win this mirror is to get ahead on energy by sneaking in a fast move or two. My second win condition against this match is to basically utilize my Politoed and get a Blizzard off on that Jumpluff. So to make matters worse, my opponent catches my Acrobatics on a Steelix, which is just not good for me. We're at a point where they had me in almost a double counter, but the good news to me is I know for a fact if I let my Jumpluff die and farm down with my Politoed, I might be in an okay position. They're going to throw a charge move here, which I'm going to then respond by bringing out my Politoed and trying to get as much energy as possible. So really quick, I want to recognize this Steelix player. That was a master class in how to use Crunch and how to underfarm. They brought me to a point where they would, at the same time, knock out my Pokemon while I would get a move. Returning to the battle, I'm just going to do the best I can to farm it down, even though I took a Crunch debuff there. The first move here is going to be a Weather Ball, and this is just to bait out a shield. My only win condition here is to basically land a Blizzard on this Jumpluff. If I don't land a Blizzard, this game is over. Here comes a second bait, hoping to get the second shield out. And unfortunately for me, they don't block it. I have to block this energy ball here, even though I have like no health on my Politoed. I have to throw this mud shot in the middle of their bullet seed, and the reason is because if I don't, it's gonna knock out my Politoed. At this point, I'm just running out of outs over here, but luckily they don't block that one. Their final Pokemon ends up being a Sudowoodo, which is actually really good for me because I know for a fact that my Meganium could take usually one Rock Slide pretty easily, and I could take out this Sudowoodo with a single Frenzy Plant. Here comes Frenzy Plant number 1. They're going to shield this because they don't have any other option. And then there we go. I have the second Frenzy Plant ready to go. We CMP tie, and I'm going to block this Rock Slide. After this Rock Slide goes through, because it was a CMP tie, I'm going to go straight into my Frenzy Plant, which would KO this Sudowoodo. And there goes game 1. I want to say that definitely the hardest matchup to go against with this team is going to be the Jumpluff, so it's really important that you know how to handle it. When playing this team, I actually had a lot of really bad leads, but I was able to pick it up. So in game 2, I get a really good matchup. It's Sudowoodo. So my mud shots, of course, do super effective damage, as well as my weather balls. I'm pretty sure with 2 weather balls, it can easily knock out the Sudowoodo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save as much energy as possible after the first weather ball. The reason is because I know for a fact that I'm going to get to a second weather ball way after they get to their first rock slide. At this point, it's just about gathering that energy. I actually think I can farm this Sudowoodo down before it gets to a second rock slide, which is great. I think one of the key fundamental skills in the game is knowing how to hold on to your energy. Now when Granbull comes out, I know that I could take it out with 2 weather balls. I'm pretty sure they know that too, so I'm actually going to switch out to save the remaining energy on my Politoed. Their last Pokemon is a Steelix, so it's great that I switched out because my Politoed's weather balls are going to completely destroy the Steelix. At this point, I can throw my energy balls as I get them. At this point, I'm in a really good position because if they take out my Jumpluff, out will come the Politoed, and they can actually just take out that Steelix with about 1 weather ball at this health. Now, most Steelixes run Dragon Tail as a fast move, Crunch as a charge, and the second charge is usually going to be Earthquake. The thing is, I don't have to worry too much about those threats because Earthquake doesn't do any damage to Jumpluff. Crunch is a non-stab move, so it doesn't really hurt my Jumpluff that much. That being said, I'm okay once I'm just letting this go. I'm able to get to a third weather ball over here, and I'm pretty sure that my opponent's in a position where they have to finally block or they're going to lose the Steelix. The Jumpluff here is finally going to go down to Dragon Tails. I bring out Meganium because Politoed with a weather ball can take out either Granbull or the Steelix, but I'm not sure if Politoed can handle Crunch at the moment. So instead, I go ahead and soak up the Crunch damage on Meganium and try to get ahead on energy. This is because I want to make sure that Meganium can get a single charge at least in this game. With the final shield down, I bring out my Politoed to take out the Granbull with Weather Ball, and I'm 1 mud shot away from taking out the Steelix with a second Weather Ball. As Steelix comes out, I go ahead and get my single mud shot out, and I'm able to get the weather ball to take out the second Pokemon, or the last Pokemon they have over here. And there goes game 2. With this team, it's really important to know when you can hold energy, and the reason is because the team relies heavily on charge move for damage. If you throw energy too quickly, you can end up wasting it. In game 3, we're going to see a Quagsire, so I instantly switch into a counter for it. Unfortunately, I met with one of my hardest counters in the game, Skarmory. With Skarmory, I'm going to just try to do as much chip damage as possible and eventually let my Jumpluff go. Now, Skarmory double resists moves like Energy Ball, so I'm going to go for Acrobatics just to get that chip damage in there. You can see because Skarmory has such a hard counter to this Pokemon, it's actually just going to go ahead and generate as much energy as possible before it throws this move. I've gotten 2 charge moves out and they should be at about 100 energy now, so here comes the Sky Attack, meaning that after they throw this Sky Attack, they can actually throw a Brave Bird. My Jumpluff survives 1 health, which is just terrible for me. After Jumpluff goes down, I bring out my Politoed to go ahead and get ahead in energy. They're going to throw a Brave Bird over here, which is fine. I have to block it no matter what. But unfortunately, bring out Qwilfish in response. Now, Qwilfish is another Pokemon that relies heavily on charge move damage. It has Poison Sting, Aqua Tail, and Sludge Wave. Unfortunately, this team is a very hard counter to my team, and I don't really see a lot of outs over here. I'm currently behind on shields, meaning that they don't need to bait against me, and I have to bait against it, quote unquote. That being said, I'm just seeing what I can do here to potentially get this second shield off. If I can get the second shield off, maybe I can get an Earthquake off with my Meganium. At this point, my opponent can throw a second Sludge Wave, which I had no response to. Yeah, even if I brought out my Meganium and I was able to farm this thing down all the way, they still have 1 shield and they have a Skarmory still, so it's definitely going to be able to get to a Sky Attack before I can get to 2 Earthquakes over here. Even if this bait goes through, I'm pretty sure there's nothing I can really do about this matchup. There goes the bait, and 1, 2, 3, and here comes the Sky Attack, and there goes game 3. You can't win them all. That backline was just so good against my backline that there was very little I could do about that game. In game 4, I see a Magcargo, which is the best lead I could possibly get, meaning they have to instantly switch and they bring out Umbreon. So in this situation, I want to basically try to wither down the Umbreon as much as possible before I switch. And the reason is because I know that both my Pokemon don't have a great match against the Umbreon. I actually make a mistake and switch out my Politoed too early. What I should have done is that I actually should have let one foul play go through first before I did the switch. Unfortunately, because of this mistake, I'm actually going to have to commit 2 shields in this matchup to secure the win. Although the Umbreon doesn't do like a ton of damage, because foul play does add up and because my frenzy plants just don't do quite enough to Umbreon to take it out, I made a terrible mistake. There goes my first shield. I throw a frenzy plant here and they're able to sneak in a Snarl, which is really bad for me. This frenzy plant's going to do a lot but not enough to take it out, and I can't really farm it down either. I have to expend my second shield now against the Umbreon, and now I'm 0-2 shields against my opponent, which is not a position you really want to be in. The worst part is I have to throw here or I will lose the switch. The Umbreon finally goes down and the Magcargo is going to come back out. Now I know that I can take one Incinerate, so I threw 2 Vitamins and switched into Politoed for a Weather Ball. This is to actually take one of my opponent's shields. My opponent is now going to bring out a Lantern, which is a pretty good Pokemon to have against my Politoed. At this point, I'm going to try to bait out a shield with a Weather Ball and pretend that I have Earthquake. They don't fall for it, which is fine. They go for a Thunderbolt over here, which should be able to take out my Politoed pretty easily. The good news for me is that my Jumpluff can actually handle this matchup really well regardless of the situation. So I'm going to just take as much energy as possible before I throw here. The reason for this is because I need to land not one, but I need to land 2 energy balls against the Magcargo. Now that I'm at max energy, I'm going to go ahead and take this Lantern out. In retrospect, what I should have done is undercharge the energy ball to get more energy against the Magcargo. With Magcargo back, because I know Incinerate is a 5-turn move, I'm going to throw 3 Bullet Seeds and then throw an energy ball. This is so I don't give the Magcargo too many free turns. I'm able to get a second energy ball in. They actually should have thrown there. I think if they had thrown, they would have won the game. They blocked this energy ball and actually throw it the exact same time right afterward, which is fine with me. My Jumpluff's going to go down over here, but my Meganium is going to come out, get 1 Vine Whip in, and be able to use an Earthquake to take it out. And there goes game 4. I think the important thing to remember from this game is you have to make sure that if you are winning a switch, you have to make sure you know how to keep that switch win and be willing to sacrifice some of your first Pokemon's health so that you guarantee the switch afterward. In game 5, we see a Lantern, which is a really bad matchup for my Politoed, so I switch into my counter right away, bring out Jumpluff. It's a safe swap, and they're not switching out, which is great for me. They bring out a Jumpluff to try to catch an energy ball, but I don't fall for it, and I go straight for the Acrobatics here. Because I was so far ahead on energy, I win all even shield match at this point, so I'm actually going to only shield when my opponent shields. If I do this, I can guarantee the win and switch. So let's say my opponent wins CMP tie, which is fine. I'm going to throw a second Acrobatics over here, and they actually let it go. At this point, the biggest threat to my team has been taken down. After Jumpluff goes down, they bring the Lantern back, and they're probably going to throw a Thunderbolt at this point to take out my Jumpluff. I'm okay letting this go because I know that Meganium has an even better match against the Lantern, and at this point, I'm pretty sure I had the game locked on. But they bring out a Mantine, which I wasn't really expecting. The good thing for me is that Frenzy Plant does really good neutral damage against Mantine. Since this is a wing attack Mantine, I'm pretty sure that it has Ice Beam and Bubble Beam. Because of this, I'm not going to expend any shields against it. Additionally, since I know that this Mantine is 1 Frenzy Plant away from getting KO'd, I'm just going to go straight for the Blizzards and not worried about them shielding as well. And they don't block, which is great for me. So now we're in a position where they have a Lantern against my Politoed, and they're actually just going to go straight for the Thunderbolt to take out my Politoed. This is okay with me because, once again, my Meganium has a really good matchup against Lantern, and I have 2 shields now against it. I can choose to block these Thunderbolts or Hydro Punts, but I don't really need to at this point. I can actually outpace this Lantern to 2 Frenzy Plants before they can get 2 Thunderbolts. And there goes game 5. I can definitely comfortably recommend this team to most people because it's a relatively easy team to use as long as you know how to hold into your energy. I played a couple renditions of it. I tried it with Politoed, Jumpluff, Skarmy at first, but I do think the Meganium is a much better Pokemon just because it has a lot more versatility with Earthquake. And that being said, I feel like in the next couple of days we're going to start seeing a surge in poison types as well as flying types because the current meta is full of grass Pokemon. Because of that, people are going to start responding over time against it, so be careful out there. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and if you did, go and give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll try to be doing more content like this over the next couple of days, especially since it is the last week of the season. Come next season, I know that we're going to be doing a bye season for a lot of people out there. I'm going to try to do more weekly updates or more daily updates if I can, with the changing cups that are going to be happening next month. Like always, if there's a Pokemon that you want to see out there or a team that you want to see really compete in the meta, let me know and I'll see what I can do to make it happen. Other than that, hope you have a great day, and I wish you all the best luck in the Battle League.